everyone and welcome to my channel. It's been a long time since you saw my face, but here I am. I thought it was time for me to show up here again. I am going to open one of these blind bags from Make It Mini Miniverse today, and I have one left from the birthday collection, so I am going to make that today. So let's turn around and do that one right away. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I have one more of these Make It Mini birthday balls here. This is the Danish price for it. This is the last one that I have. That's actually a neat table. Anyway, this is the last one I have, and I am going to open this one. And then I'm done with these birthday balls. So I'm just gonna open this one. Oh, that was effective. Let's just get rid of that one. And then the next layer. Oh, I like this way. Ah, I ruined it. Oh well. There we go. And let's open and see what we got here. Oh, I see there is something different in here. So first of all, we have the table and the tabletop. We like that one. Oh, I got a mold. Let's just put this to the side for a second. This is a dinosaur mold with small eggs and stuff. Oh, that is neat. I really like that one. Also because I will be able to use this for 1 to 12 because they're so tiny. That is neat. I like that a lot. Then we have this one. It says keep it cool. I think that's the resin. Let's open it up. Yes. We have a milk chocolate resin for these pieces here, I believe. That's really, really nice. I'm just gonna pop it here on the table. Then we have this one. We don't need that. And we have the how-to guide. We have some party bags. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 party bags. Sunny day party. They're actually pretty cute. Maybe I will, it actually says 4 pieces. I might even try to make these in 1 to 12. So smaller than this one. We will see. Let me place that here. Then we have piñata tissues. Yes, we're gonna make a piñata. I'm looking forward to that. I really wanted this one with the piñatas in. So I'm happy for that one. And it's gonna be fun to make that in 1 to 12. I hope. What do we have here? Oh, we have gold pages, foil thingies to wrap the chocolates in. That is really neat. So we got chocolates and we got the piñata. Is this it? Yes, that is the piñata. Let's see here. Can it be opened? Yes! That is a neat detail. So you can open it and pop in your chocolates in it for your dolls, and you can hang it and make them make believe hitting it and opening up the bottom, and the candy will, or the chocolate will come floating out. That was that one. Actually, I think I'm going to save this piece of paper here because that is a pretty neat piece of paper. The same with the green here. I see a dinosaur theme in these balls. And then we have the last one, I think, with our utensils. Let's see what we get in here. We get a spatula and we got the tweezers as we normally get, and the topper for the top of this little ball if you want to use it for display. I'm actually not sure you can display this one in there. No, because the tabletop is going all the way up to the bottom part, so this one won't be able to be in there, so you won't be able to showcase it.
I'm not gonna make mine able to open in the bottom. I think that will be a bit difficult in 1 to 12. But I am really looking forward to put this together and make something cool, and then let's try and make it in 1 to 12 afterwards. Anyway, oh, let me just do like this so you can see the things. We got the mold, the resin, the gold sheet, foil, the paper bags, and we got the piñata. I really like this one. Let me clean up here and then I will be back. So there's a lot of things to do in this little box. I will wait with these for a second, and then I want to go to this mold here. Let me just open this up. See if I can get to do that. Come on. Okay. There we go. So there are 2 kinds of dinos and 2 eggs in here. And we are going to take the resin and pop it into the mold. And then of course put that into our UV light. Maybe I should cut this little piece of tape here before I can open up. Oh, that is tightly on there. Didn't I cut it? I did. There we go. And then we need to get rid of that little thingy here. Let's pop that in there where it belongs. And then pop this piece on top here, and then try to fill up these small tiny molds here. I want to fill them up, but I don't want to put too much in there. This one. And these last ones. I would love this resin to be a little more chocolatey colored. This is brown, but it's very translucent. I know that will be good for hardening it, but I'm not sure it has the right color for chocolate. There we go. I'm happy about that. And then we go get the UV light. I might have to put new batteries in this one. And then we keep it under the UV light for 5-10 minutes. So they have gotten 8 minutes, but they're still not totally hardened. They're sticky, but I want them to take them out here, and then I can harden them without having them in this little mold here. Oh, come on. So you can hear they are hardened, but they're still a tiny bit sticky. And I don't really like that. But they're so super cute. These small dinos here. Dinosaurs. So I'm just gonna make some more of these with my leftover resin. And I see we have 10 foil sheets here. It says 10 pieces. So let's see. I'm gonna make a few more of these and then I will be back. So I am back again. I was able to fill this little mold 3 times and then another dino, so 3 times and a little piece more. Oh, and I used my this thing to clean them off because they were still sticky. And this is 99% isopropanol. I'm not sure how to say this in American. This is Danish. But I use that for just cleaning them off. I use it when I am 3D printing as well. So let's take a look at these small pieces of metal foil. Actually, I think I'm gonna do like this. Take one of these. I think I'm gonna start with an egg. So I'm just gonna move this a tiny bit. Place this piece over the egg. Turn it around. And then maybe I should cut a tiny bit of it off because it looks a little, oops, too big for this tiny little egg here. So I'm just cutting it off around the egg and folding it in over this little chocolate egg. This is not as easy as they make it look, just saying, it's not. And I want it to look just right here. There we go. Let me try with one of those dinos. So I'm first going to kind of squish it down around this little dino. Trying to get all the small details of him into the paper here. I actually think it works pretty well. Let me turn this around. And again, I think this is a tiny bit too big, so I'm going to cut some of this off here. There we go. And then fold it in over the back of the little dino here. It is quite thick, this paper, so it's a little difficult. But now we have one dino and one egg. Let's try with one of these dinos here. I'm not sure I'm gonna do all of these, but let's just do one of each. Oops, I think I broke the paper. And then again, just cut a bit of it off because it's a little too much. And then I'm trying to wrap it here so that you still can see that it is a dino that's in here. So if you really want to see the shape, this paper is a tiny bit too thick to really shape around the dino, but I managed to wrap 2 of them. The dinos. I'm not gonna wrap any more of these. I think maybe the eggs, but I'm gonna do that off camera if I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna clean up here a bit and then I will be back. So we made all the small chocolate here. I think that was 1, 2, 3. That was 3 times the mold and 2 pieces more that the resin could make. So I made it from all the resin. Of course we wrapped some of them. So I'm gonna put this to the side. So now we are having this piece and then of course the bags. I'm gonna take one of these out just to see how it is made. This way I can try making one myself, just tinier. I actually think they're really, really cute. Let's open this one up again. There we go. And you can put stuff in there. Anyway, here we have the piñata and these pieces here for the piñata. Let's see if I can open this up. Oh, I could. That's nice. So let's take out all these small things here. Hopefully without destroying any of these. I really shouldn't assemble this again because this needs to go in the garbage. So plastic first alone and the paper here as well. Okay, let's see. We have this piece, this one, some decorations, and another 2 pieces. And I thought I had that here. I don't, so that must be right here. So let's see. I'm just gonna grab my tweezers here. Okay, I'm not gonna do it like that. Oh, that is sticky. So let me do it like this. And just stick it on carefully. Oops, oops, oops. Let's get it right. There we go. That is actually really soft paper. And it is in layers, I see, because I have a layer right there. And maybe also here, yes. Let me try it with my knife instead. So I can lift up some of these layers here, making it look a little more real than if it's just lying flat. I will have to think about how I am going to do this. On my smaller one. Anyway, we don't need to do that all on camera. I just wanted to show you. So I think this one goes right here so that we can still open up the piñata. Let's see if I can get this sticker here to do as I want. Come on. Or maybe they're supposed to go like this. No, they're not. This one is supposed to go in here. Okay, maybe I should start with that one, because this one is supposed to go right there. Maybe actually this way. I'm not really sure about this, because it's like there's not, they're not showing it that easy on the paper here. I'm gonna do it my way. This is really difficult to get off. Come on. Let go. There we go. I got it. Oops. I'm gonna do it like this. There we go. And then I'm just gonna go slowly around here. Let's see, I have this tool here, because I want this to go all the way into this little divot here, and then all the way around. And there's definitely not enough on this, but we're going there. Then I'm gonna do it with this one. So let me take this, see if I can do this. Come on. It's not easy to get the sticker here to lift from the paper. And the stickers are very delicate, so we want to be careful with those. And I'm gonna use this tool again. Because that worked perfect the first time. So let me see, so this is gonna start right here and go down there. So I definitely did not do this right. Let me try that again, from here to there. Okay. Now let's open this sticker. Carefully. There we go. Take that all off, and then I'm just gonna turn that hopefully the right way around, and I'm trying to connect that with the other one that we got, and then all the way up here. It's almost good. And then I could place this little piece down here maybe. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, this one went better than the other ones. Turn that around so it's on the same way as the other ones. Yes. So I got it almost all the way around this dinosaur. Now we just need this side. going to take this piece. Sorry that I'm so quiet, but this is actually not that easy. And I really want it to look as good as I can get it, to make it just a tiny bit justice. There we go. Yay, we have the decorations on. And now for the tiny decorations, let's look at the picture. Okay, so we're going to take these pieces here. Let me see, put that away. Taking this and placing it. And then these are supposed to go on the back of him. It's difficult to see exactly what to do. But if I'm not wrong, then they're going to sit here along the spine. I wish they would go all the way around the back on him, so they're not just sitting here, but would go all the way over. Oh well. Then I'm gonna do the other side. Place his eye. Oops. There we go. And then these small spine thingies. Go on. Yes. This one. Come on. There we go. And one more. I have a tiny piece of paper that is, these small pieces are kind of falling off. But that might be some extra pieces that is in there. Anyway, there we have the dinosaur. I actually think he came out good. Let's see. Garbage. And I don't think we need that anymore, so that's nice. So we have now a table full of small paper pieces here. I'm trying to get that away. There we go. So I have the paper bag, I have the dino. Well, actually we have a lot of paper bags. And then we have all the candy. I'm just gonna do it like this. There we go. So paper bags and candies. And I actually have a little more of this golden foil. And of course we can always use the mold again. I like that. And they almost have a size where you can use them for 1 to 12 scale things. So we are going to open this one. And then you just pop in some of the candy. Oops. And I did try this once, and I know that it's not big enough for all the candies that I made, but that's all fine, because we can close this one up. There we go. And we can put the rest in the paper bag. And there we have the little creature that we are going to make in 1 to 12. That was fun. Okay, let me clean up this and then let's get working on this little craft. Hello everyone! Now it is time to make this in 1 to 12. I'm sorry this video is going to be very long because there is a lot of elements in this build here. I rolled out a piece of clay in this mint green colored, and it is around, I think it's around, is it 6 millimeters thick? So it's thick but not that thick, and because it's this thick I cannot roll it in my pasta machine, so I rolled it out with my plastic roller, and then I used a glass plate to make sure everything was very nice and straight. Now I am cutting this one into the size of the dino I want, and then I am going to use my needle tool to kind of draw on the dinosaur here on this piece. Then I took my X-Acto knife and I'm cutting out the dino very slowly so I get the shape that I want, and I'm shaping it as I cut it, so I'm taking my time with this, and when I am happy with the result of it I am going to bake this one, but take the time you need, and if you do it wrong the first time, do it over, and all of a sudden it will be where you think this is nice and I like it, and then you just put that to the side, and then we will continue with making the dinos and the egg chocolates for this build. For the dinosaurs and the egg build, I first of all rolled a piece of rest clay or scrap clay through the biggest setting on my pasta machine, and I made this square out of it because I think it's easier when I'm going to make a mold of the done result. And then I took a piece again of scrap clay, rolled it through my pasta machine, and this time I rolled it about I think it was a setting 3 I used, so thick but not that thick. And again I cut this little piece of clay into the size for the dino, actually just the height of it, and it is going to be the half height of the original. And then I used my needle tool to kind of make my line where to cut, and just like the piñata I am cutting these small pieces of chocolate out very carefully and rounding off the corners, making them look like cake. And this took like forever, so I will jump ahead in this one, but it took really a long time. So if you do this, take your time and relax in your wrist and just go slowly. That's my only advice to you, I think. Here you see the first little dino. So the dino egg is quite easy. Roll a tiny piece of clay into a ball and then make it oblong or into a teardrop. Cut it in half, and then it is ready to be placed on this red piece of clay that I rolled out for the what do you call that? The mold putty, to better get a grip of the small details of these. So I just move that, and then I'm gonna go to the last dinosaur. Again, I'm first starting with my needle tool and drawing on the dino like I want it, in the right height and the right length and so on, and then I am carefully cutting it out with my knife, making sure I have my dino left here, and I'm really careful and taking my time with this. After baking, I made my mold putty and I placed that on top of this little plate with my dinos and the egg. And I'm just filling up the mold right now when it's all hardened with some brown clay. This is a really nice chocolatey brown I have here. That is actually a caramel and a brown mixed together 1-to-1, so that it is not too dark but not too light. Then you place that into the mold, you cut off the excess, and you do that with all 3 of these parts, and then you pop it into the oven and bake it. I made 2 of these, so I have 2 dinos of each and 2 eggs. And when the mold is cold again after baking, you can just pop out the little chocolates. Now for this pinata, where we need the paper, and these 2 colors, they don't really match, and I didn't have anything else that I thought would be fit for this. This is just some silk paper, and this paper has some glitter in there, and this glitter was all over my table, my clothing, and my floor after using this. So the rest of this just got thrown into the garbage. I hate glitter all over everything. I really love the sight of glitter, but having it everywhere, I cannot have that. Not at all. I started with cutting off a long strip of paper that was a little wider than the dino here itself. Then I also cut 2 squares of the paper, and the squares I am gluing them to each side of my dino. The long piece we will save for a little later, but now I am placing the dino in between these 2 pieces of paper. So the glue took a tiny bit to harden, and I made sure it was all hardened before I continued, otherwise you can damage everything. And then I'm just carefully and slowly cutting out the little dino from the paper, so I only have the paper where the dino is. And this took a tiny bit of time. At this point I actually thought the paper had a nice color to it, but I'm sitting with the done result, and I really wish the paper was more bluish than this greenish gray it has. So if you are going to make this little dinosaur, or maybe just a heart pinata, then use some more colorful paper. It doesn't need to be this boring color, but I tried to stay as true to the original as possible, and I really missed that by miles with this little dragon or dino. The colors here are just so off, but I still think he ended up cute. I'm using a tiny piece of sandpaper to buff off the rest of the paper, and I'm just really careful. I sped this up, so that's why it looked like I'm just going really hard over every corner and stuff like that, but I actually took my time with this, so this is really sped up. So now it is time for this little strip of paper, and I am taking my paper glue here, and I'm going to glue a tiny bit here at the bottom part of the tail, and I'm placing a piece of the paper over there, making sure that one side it is following the edge. And then I'm kind of making a fold. I'm gluing a tiny bit and making a fold, and gluing a tiny bit and making a fold, and gluing a tiny bit, and I'm gonna do this all the way around the dino, and that took kind of a long time. Again, this is sped up, so you can see here that I'm actually kind of working really slowly, but take your time and do it all the way around the dino. In the small crevices and stuff like that, I used this little tool I have with the flat spatula, so that I could kind of stuff it into the crevices. At the bottom of the dinosaur, I did not make these bends or folds, or what you will call that, but I made it all the way around the dino. Then I decided that I wanted those kind of lace-like things on the sides of the dino as well. So I cut some thin strips of my paper and I glued them on one by one from the bottom of the dino and up, and I did this on both sides. And I'm just cutting off the paper roughly here, and then when I'm done, I'm cutting off the paper more neat, making use of my sandpaper as well. And I did this on both sides, so I don't want to bother you with this, so I will cut this piece short. Don't do that before the glue is all hardened, otherwise you risk ruining everything. And I did cut some small what do you call that, openings or slits into these pieces of paper. I only glued the top of the paper down so the bottom part is still fluffy, and I made a few cuts in there to make it look a little more like a piñata. And again, I did this on both sides. Then I used a tiny bit of a drop of black to make the eye. I used a ball pen or ball tool to make the eye, and then I found myself a nice and fine paintbrush, and I am making these 4 small green triangular shapes here on the back on this little dino here, and I'm doing this on this side and on the other side, just like the original halves. Then I used a tiny bit of a embroidering thread, and I used 3 small threads from that, and I braided this little ribbon that I am using for that thing to hang them up in. So I'm making a little eye here with that braided piece of string. Then I am cutting the ends of this little eye off, and then I am gluing the little knot underneath onto the head of the dino with a tiny bit of my super glue gel. So now all we need are these 4 bags, paper bags, and I made this little piece of paper with my measurements on there, so you can pause the screen and take a picture of it or write them down or something. And now I'm just gonna place it on the inside of a paper bag that I had lying around, and I am tracing everything here and cutting it out. Now it is time to fold the back. It's time to fold the bags, and I'm folding them according to the lines on the little piece of paper I showed you earlier, and I'm folding these flaps inwards. Then I am going to glue the side of the bag together, and I'm gonna do that with my paper glue, and I'm doing it making the bag lie flat here. So just placing the glue here on top of this little flap, that is the 5mm flap, and I'm just gluing that down. When the glue is all dry, I am opening up the bag and folding it to the other side, making sure that all my bends are really nice and smooth, or crisp, I think is the right word. Then I'm popping in a tiny bit of paper glue on the flaps and on this big end flap. Then I'm placing the paper back on the bottom part and making sure everything is squeezed really nicely together and keeping it there for making sure that the glue is gripping everything. And then when I think it's ready, I am actually folding in the sides and squeezing the flat down to the bottom, and then I'm tilting the bag over like that. And there you have the bag. So I made 3 more of these small paper bags, and then I cut a strip of paper and I wrapped that around the bags and glued that little piece together, not onto the bags but just glued the piece together. I'm taking that off right here. You can see the 4 bags that I made. So I'm just putting them together and then scooping this little ribbon here around the paper bags just like the original, and there I have 4 tiny paper bags ready for this little craft. And everything is now ready. That was the original, and here is the new one. You can see the color of the piñata is not the same, but I actually think it turned out really neat anyway. So yeah, I think that was it.
So that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed that one. I had a lot of fun with it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again next week. Happy crafting!